Hello, everybody. So this is going to be a virtual training video on the birdsong tablets for you all. And TIPA's organization recommends that we do virtual training so we don't have too many staff in a small space and we're doing trainings and we're all touching each other and all that good stuff. So this is a really quick video. At the end of this video, you'll hear about something that I've left around the nurses' stations, ALC and health center, in your work areas, in rooms, everything. So wait till the end of this video to find that out, and don't ruin it for the next person. Don't tell them what's in the video. Let them please watch it and get to the end of it so they find out in the same way that you did what's hidden in their areas. Sign off on this. Do the little thing that I have for you. And just be a part of it because we all are here for the same thing. TIPA's organization had a really good thing that came out and they said, the rest of the world has stopped, but we know in the healthcare field that care never stops. Dementia never stops. Our everyday routine is even worse right now because there's not the activities in the group settings. They don't have that to look forward to like they usually do. So some of this is going to be about what you can do to help those residents living with dementia during this time, and hopefully it doesn't get worse like we have corona here. But if it does, hopefully this video will help you calm them as well as calming you, because we know that if they're all worked up, then it's going to cause your workday to be longer and more stressful. So how do we calm them and keep ourselves calm? Because we know that our residents with dementia pick up on our vibes. They pick up on our nonverbal signals. All last week, you could see it. The more worked up we got about all the news that was coming out, they got worked up. I spent most of my time last week just calming them down. Catherine just kept saying, I have to get out of here. I need to go. And that's all of our responses. We need to go somewhere. We need to be safe. So it's just a couple things for you to think about in your daily care that you're giving to our residents. So one of the things to think about, and I'm going to show you what this looks like, is if we do get to the point where we have to wear masks, let's say somebody's sick or maybe we're not feeling good or whatever the case is. Let's see how this feels for you. Just bear with me. I'm still with you. So if my resident has a fever or somebody's not feeling good, maybe I'm not feeling 100, but I'm not sure what's happening yet. And so I come in and I'm like, hey, it's time for you to have your bath. It's time for you to get up. Are you ready? This is very scary. To us, it's normal. This is what we do. We wear medical masks. We have to do this. But to them, they can't see our facial responses. They can't see our smile. They can't see us frowning they can't just read us. And so that's really stressful for them. So in some memory care units, and a lot of people that work with kids, they do something this way. So I have a smiley face with my tongue sticking out. Okay, if we do get to this point, this is something we could do. Put that up, let them see the smile. It kind of looks weird. You have to do it a lot. You have to do big lines. But in some dental offices, people that work with kids, these are some things they've done to their masks. You can buy them this way, but if you're artistic and you want to do this, we're all for it. If we do have to get to mask and wearing them, that fits the season, okay? And then that one's funny. That one's Drew on there. And so that's some things that we could do. But, reducing the stress, because they're like, well, why does she have a mask on? Is she sick? What is wrong with her? And so we just want to be careful how we're looking to them, because they can get stressed out. So I did a lot of research from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. And when you really look back, influenza was an epidemic in the 70s. Mumps and measles were really big. People were very scared that their children would get mumps because it makes you sterile. So people that we're dealing with have gone through this. And we have all the medical technology. We have a new world that is more advanced than when they grew up, but they don't know that. They don't remember that it's 45 years later. They're going way back then to those periods, and they're very scared. One memory unit that I heard of on a little blog, this lady locked herself in the house, wouldn't let nurses in to do blood pressure checks and blood sugar checks. She ended up getting really sick. So it's something to think about. How are we dealing with the people in our communities that are really, really scared? Because, we can fight this off, but they're hearing on the news that they can't fight it off and the elderly are going to be ill and die from this. And that can be really scary for them. So, on to that, we shouldn't really have the news on, because you know how the news makes us feel. We go out and we buy all the toilet paper. Can they do that? Can they get out of here? Can they process, okay, I need to stock up on food, not realizing they're at RWC and have all the food they need? They need to get to their family. They need to find their children. And so it can be very panic stricken and chaotic in their head and in their environment. And they may not be able to tell us this. So it's coming out like, Mama, Mama, somebody find my mama, like we've witnessed over this past week. And so, keeping the news off of the televisions, putting on old TV land shows, old movie, the Three Stooges we had on earlier this week, and everybody was laughing and having a good time with that. And, they're feeding off of our anxiety, so it's really tough sometimes to calm yourself down when you have kids to look after at home, you have your elderly parents, let's say, or whatever the case is. You have a lot to take care of outside of here. And so how do you calm yourself down? Taking a few minutes to reflect on, am I calm? I didn't realize I was so worked up last week until Saturday when I was off, and I calmed down and I did things for me. And then I realized how stressed out I was all week, and I wasn't really doing anything other than maybe drinking some wine at night that was calming me down. And I was watching the news, so that was just stirring me up even more. So, there's a lot of different things we can think about with dementia and this virus and the chaos of dealing with all of that in one. We want to keep our residents' hands clean. A lot of them, you'll put hand sanitizer in and they'll say, "Ooh, it's wet, it's wet." And just keep saying, just rub it in. You're killing the germs. You're killing the germs. Making sure you're washing the residents' hands. There's some residents like Bobby Jones. She loves to play in the water. She's easy to wash hands. But there's others that are more difficult to direct into the bathrooms. They don't like to be wet. So making sure that it's a warm temperature before you try to wash their hands, because the moment they feel it's cold, I'm not touching that. So just making sure that it's a good temperature. We want to keep our environments calm and inviting. During the mornings this week, I've turned like one light off in the activity room, one off in the dining room, put some soft music on or some soul music, some upbeat music to make them happy. But in the evening time, when everything is calming down, putting on some slow, easy listening, turning the lights down a little bit, making the environment a little more calm for them, because they feed off of all of that. Another thing, I'm looking at all my stuff, some of the activities that we can do. So it's really tough right now because activities can't have these group settings. So we're all in this together. They can't possibly get to every single person all day. So some things, let's just take out some washcloths and unfold them and ask the ladies that like to do housework if they'll fold them for us, getting the socks or laundry out and getting them to fold it or sort it. We have all the kits in the health center activity room for sorting through things. So maybe taking that to the room and just making sure that you use some purple wipes when you take them out. But they can still sort items. We have coloring sheets and crossword puzzles and word finds. So we've given a lot of those out to residents that can do those independently in their rooms. But then there's some that want to be more social and want to be out. And so giving them things to do, just one-on-one, letting them know that we're there, engaging with them a little bit with anything that you can find that will engage them. Just sitting and talking, playing a trivia game on the bird song. We have bird songs everywhere, so if you need one for a certain resident, just leave a note for me. And, you all do a great job every day. So don't think that I'm preaching to the choir, basically. You already know most of this. This is just re-education to think about something over again. We do have video chat for residents and families. that are used to seeing their family members, like Mrs. Kirby. She can see her daughter that often visits but can't right now. And so if you do have a resident that you think would benefit from video chatting, there's a birdsong tablet at the nurse's station, really at Debbie's or the supervisor's desk. And I can show you how to use that. Anybody can use it. It's a handheld birdsong versus one of the big ones. So we can video chat with families, or maybe just write a note to the resident. They don't know what coronavirus means. Okay, it sounds scary when you name it that. If you just tell them that there's a respiratory infection going on and we're trying to prevent them from going around germs and keeping them safe, just keep it short and simple that there's a respiratory infection going on. We want to keep it light and not so scary sounding. So I think that's about it. I think that covers everything. Just watch how you're approaching people, watch how you're saying things, and try to keep it as calm as possible. You know, don't go yelling through the hallways. Did you hear there's a Westminster Richmond? You know, that can all cause chaos within the brain of someone that's living with dementia. Okay, so this about sums it up. I told you it was going to be under 15 minutes. And so throughout your work areas, you're going to find things like this, okay? And you're going to find them in very random spots, but don't tell everybody that hasn't watched this video. There's just a few of these around. So some Russell Stover's eggs. And so you're going to find them in your work areas, and know that you're appreciated through this time. We know it's a really stressful time for you and your families, and we appreciate you coming to work and taking care of our residents. And just keep in mind that we're here to create a calm environment. They're feeding off of us. If we become chaotic, they're going to become chaotic. So just keep it calm. Try to keep it light. Taking 3 deep breaths. I know it always sounds crazy, but I swear by it. The moment you exhale your 3rd breath, so in through the nose, out through the mouth. So somebody's doing it with me. After the 3rd one, you're lowering your stress hormones in your bloodstream. So, you know, if you feel like you're just overwhelmed, just taking a minute to do that, and you're lowering those stress hormones. And hopefully some of this chocolate will help that too. But thank you for everything, and have a good shift.